All right, I just finished shooting this video, which was titled Overcoming Sex, Porn, and Addiction to Women. It's around 43 minutes long. I recommend that you watch it at a 1.5x speed. It's kind of divided into three phases. The first phase is when I was born to the age of 20 and when I got introduced to, women and porn and sex. Then from the age of 20 to 40, where it became like a main staple of my life, a mainstay, and where I was very proud about it and didn't see any reason to get out of it. And from the age of 40 to where I'm today, why I decided to change my life completely, what was the reason I decided no more into this world of sex porn and women's addiction. Okay. So it's more like a glimpse into my life, and I'm hoping that you learn through the mistakes that I've made, and it should shed some light, given the fact that there was nobody to guide me, and how I managed to be self-aware. Now, remember this much: this is not this is not me giving you medical advice. Neither do I suggest that instead of going to seeking professional help, you just see my video and that's about it. I hope this video would inspire you to become self-aware of what sex porn and women addiction to women does to you, and maybe you take the steps necessary to go to a medical professional, someone who specializes in this, and you achieve your goal of overcoming these three very powerful temptations. So having said that, watch the video and put down your comments and thoughts down below, and I'll definitely read it. So having said that, let's start the video. A subject which you can't talk to many people. I mean, obviously, my channel is watched by mostly Indian men, and if you are a typical Indian, you can't talk to your mother and father about sex, about porn, about women. uh, I mean, I can just imagine the scene, like talking to your dad about, "Hey, Dad, I want to talk to you about sex." He'll be, "Hey, what?" And if you try talking to your mom, I'm addicted to girls. She'll say, "Chi, chi, 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 what? Say your prayers, go to the temple." Or they'll take you to a priest to do some exorcism, or maybe to a doctor and tell them something has gone wrong with my child. And the only other avenue that you have where you can speak about sex is maybe your friends. You can just have chit chats, but those are not meaningful conversations. And I guess today, in today's day and age, when you have the smartphone and you have the internet with social media apps, you can go online, you can read articles, you can watch YouTube videos, which is what you're doing right now. But then, in my experience, what I've realized is this is still a very challenging subject for a lot of young men. Okay. As you know, I have these WhatsApp groups where young men join. Some of them borderline, they kind of speak about, I'm addicted to porn, or they say, "How do you overcome porn?" Or, "This girl, I like this girl," or, "I like these girls, I don't know what to do." So they can't have an in-depth conversation because, there is always that taboo, that shame that comes with it. Okay. So in this video, what I thought today is, what I'll do is, I'll share with you in a very limited format the experiences I've had. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm not going to explain in graphic detail, like 50 Shades of Grey. I went to her and her bosom touched my chest, and slowly I took off her jacket. So it's not one of those videos, but rather just to give you a gist as to how did I get addicted to this, what was my thinking, and finally, today at the age of 50, nearing 50, how did I overcome this, and why am I glad that I overcame this? Because there are very many people who, uh, unfortunately or fortunately, they are still addicted to sex or women. And you can see it in third world countries, and especially they call them sexpats, or tourists who come here for sex. They come to third world countries for sex. And if you go to these Facebook groups, you'll get a lot of photographs or videos of really old men who can hardly walk with a walking stick, but they are still targeting a young girl who is old enough to be maybe his granddaughter. Okay. So, it's his life, not passing any judgment there. You. But I'm going to tell you my experience. Now, um, for those of you who followed my YouTube channel, know that I was born in a South Indian Catholic family. Okay. Was born in Mumbai. My family, Mangalorean. My real father, Keralite, but my stepfather, Mangalorean also. So they moved off to Dubai. And I was raised in Dubai. It's born in Mumbai, but raised in Dubai. And our life was, at least my life, was nothing but, be in the house, go to school, come back home. And my parents would never take me out anywhere. They would never sit down with me. They would never talk to me. The only entertainment I had was watching news, or maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon, watching a little bit of cartoon, which was like half an hour maximum. And that also my parents would not allow me to watch very easily. So, very limited options of entertainment. So, whenever I would get a chance to mix with the friends of my age, or boys or girls of my age, girls was not allowed, because it was considered taboo for a boy to meet a girl or talk to a girl. So it was always boys will, you play with boys. And I was also studying in a Sarja Indian school, where morning it was girls shift, and afternoon was boys shift. Because remember, it was Dubai or UAE or Sharjah. Sharjah was the place where I stayed. You're talking of the early 80s, where Muslim law was very rampant. And keep in mind, Dubai those days was not like how you see today. Dubai has a futuristic city like Manhattan or New York, the bling and all that. You're talking of more of a like desert, where there's maybe one, two, or three buildings here. Then you drive down for half an hour, and there's two, three buildings there. And, it was like Oman, just nothing but stretches of desert, few, two, three shops in between. And then you'll get maybe two, three buildings, and then you'll get a maybe busy area. Then once again, desert. So there was not much to do. And there was not much to see, or not much to discover. My earliest recollection of being introduced to the world of so-called being an alpha male. Today that term is alpha male, but those days, it was more like the hero of a movie, Hollywood. I was not very much a fan of Bollywood, because the movies were all silly and the heroes looked like Indians. But I remember watching James Bond, Roger Moore, The Spy Who Loved Me, and those were the kind of movies. Obviously, they were censored, heavily censored, like a little bit of shoulder and the scene is cut, and then they are just talking. So, and even the kissing scenes were non-existent. Like in Hindi movies, when they would do a kissing scene in the 80s, it would be like let's say, for example, you're watching a TV. The guy and girl would go like this, like you would not see, you'd see the back of the girl's head, or you'd see the back of the guy's head, and then it'll just show like this, and they kiss. That was supposed to be the kiss or the romance. So there was not much to be seen or much to be understood or communicated. Now, let me just put on this AC 1 second. Yeah, so the point I'm trying to make here is I had very little exposure to what sex was, what girls were like. To talk to a girl, it's like, oh, wow, girl. I would be very shy, but because I was an extrovert, I would love to talk to people. And if I did get an opportunity to talk to a girl, it would be like, wow, girl. But there was nothing sexual. It was just girl. Um, I guess as time progressed, um, your testosterone is growing, your body is growing, hair, biological changes, your voice is deepening. And that is where I discovered, oh, I'm attracted to a girl. And that is where I also discovered, like, when you do pleasure yourself, which was masturbation, like you would feel nice, you know. But obviously, who do you share it with? You just lie down on the bed and just scrub your little genie, as I call it. So, I mean, I knew I was not doing something right. And guess what? My stepfather did catch me once. And how did it happen was, it was night and I was, lying down with my face down. And, you know, it was, I felt like stimulating myself. So obviously face down, rubbing myself. And next thing when I turned, I could see that piece of shit, that guy standing there like this. So I acted like as if I didn't see him and just closed my eyes and, like. So there was no communication. And yeah, the only thing which they did tell me was, if you do this, God will punish you. God is watching you. You'll become blind. You'll not be able to see. Or they would give me the fear that, one man, he was doing something which was not nice. Like, they didn't say masturbation. They didn't say play with your genitals. They said, if you're going to do something wrong, his heart stopped beating and he died. He became blind. He died. God punished him. So that was the only communication of sex that my parents had with me. God will punish you, and then you would make me read chapters of the Bible that Sodom and Gomorrah, God put burning sulfur and killed everyone in the Old Testament. So that was the only communication my parents had with me with regards to what you could remotely say was sex. Okay. And my first foray into, trying to be attractive to a female was her nickname. Her nickname was Rosie. She used to always stare at me at school, when they were going to their buses and when I was coming. So I kind of like noticed her. And then there were other girls, hey, Loy, and they would point at her and she would look at me and blush and look down. And so you figured out, okay, the girl likes you. And then, when nobody's looking, I gave a sheet of paper which said, I like you. I like you, want to meet you, which unfortunately my father kind of intercepted, because the girl, you remember I told you the girl was saying, her name was Reshma. She was like, hey, Loy. She kind of knew me because her father knew my father. They were village friends. And there was an Easter party. Look at the coincidence. I gave the letter to her to give it to this girl. And there was an Easter party at her house where we used to rarely go anywhere. Easter or maybe Christmas. And at the Easter kind of party where we were there with my family, all acting, goody and talking to each other, it was so. I'll give you another video later on where I'll tell you how dead these parties were. Men would be one side, ladies would be one side. Not as hardcore as some Muslim family, but they would just be eating and talking in their native language. And for us, they would give us some toys. So this stupid female, who was very much like a male, her father was very much a simp who was not. So she went and gave that letter, which I gave it to her to give it to this girl. She gave it to my stepfather, and everyone was like, "Oh, Loy gave a love letter. Oh, love letter. Oh, finished." And my father actually exited the party and with my mother to take me home to beat me with a stick because I wrote, "I love you." No, sorry, I like you. Like, not even love. Hey, yeah. So that is how amazing my stepfather was. I absolutely hate that man, and you know that. I mean, if there was any horror movie, where they mutilate and do horrible things, and you enjoy looking at it, he would be a perfect candidate to send him there. So, anyway, no guidance. So, the only thing I could do, and yeah, the age, if you would like to know, I think I was 11 or 12 that time. And he caught my hair, he slapped me, he hit me with the stick and all that. So couldn't talk to anyone. And remember, these are the days there was no internet, there was no phone. There was a phone with the wire where you have to dial, even that dial that way, those kind of phones were there. So there was no internet, there was no Google, there was no smartphone. And the books which were there, encyclopedias, they wouldn't address this. And if in Dubai you'd buy a book that spoke about sex, they would always censor it because it was haram. So, whichever opportunity I got to meet a girl, and as I grew up, the only place where I could go for an outing was the church, St. Michael's Church, which was like a 2 kilometer or 3 kilometer walk. I would go walking because my parents would never take me and drop me there. I would go alone walking, and all the guys and girls of my age would come and play there. They had a very kind of semi-British, semi-American kind of church gathering. It was like young boys and girls would play there, play badminton, play squash, play table tennis. So the church was here, and there was like a area dedicated for young boys and girls to play there of my age. So I would go there. Yes, I would get bullied because I wasn't part of any group. I wasn't cool, and there were not white people there. I was telling you that white, but it was like the idea was constituted by an Italian priest who followed like an American this thing that families, children can play here. So I was to always be there, and obviously that was a place where I would meet the girls, talk to them. And this continued, I think, until finally you had the TV, CRT monitor, you had that big box of a TV and, VCR. You can Google search what is a VCR. And I think it was in the 9th or 10th standard when I was 14, 15 years old. I found out there was a magazine called Playboy and Hustler and, those kind of magazines where females would show themselves naked and some of them would have a bush. And so, wow, naked females. The only other time you would see females like that was when you buy a catalog and you'd see, a girl wearing bra and panty, and that was the only adult thing that you could see. So that was my exposure. And yeah, finally, there were these boys who would be at the backbench who the parents would not focus on, and they would be like these gangster type guys and the guys who had cool parents. So they would have these magazines and they would have these VHS tapes where sex was kind of recorded. So it's like, very poor quality. So one day when I saw these guys exchanging the VHS, okay, you take this, you take this. So I asked one of the guys, can you show me? I want to see what it is. Oh, I so remember this. This was in, I think, 11th standard, 10th or 11th, 11th. So I took the VHS tape home, ninth, 10th or 11th, I'm not too sure, because I was like 14 or 15. And, you know, if you're the 80s kid, you'd know this. You'd have a TV and a VCR, which would play the video in the hall room. Lucky for me, my parents used to make me sleep in the hall room, but unfortunately, my grandmother used to also sleep there. So, made sure that she was sleeping at around, I think, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, whatever the time I woke up, still checked if she's sleeping, went and put the VHS tape and stood in front of the TV so she couldn't see what was going on, put it slightly on. And my first exposure to this porn was like, yuck, what are they doing? Because I so faintly remember it was like very pink and light brown color. It was not like what you see now when you see these vibrant colors. It was very pink, the hue color, it was not very clear, very old print, and everyone had a mustache and, curly hair. And the females, although they looked nice, like, the curly hair of the 80s, they had a big bush, both the men and women. And, then when the guy went down on the female or the female went down on the guy, and when I saw it for the first time, I was like, yuck, what is this? This is disgusting. And none of the sex scenes I enjoyed. I just watched it for a few minutes. And, where I was thinking it'll be something like Hollywood, the romance and the James Bond kind of high production value. This was like a not even B grade, not even C grade, just a dumbass. Someone took a camera and made this video. So I quickly put it off, and next day when I returned it, so hey, you enjoyed? Yeah, I was like, yuck, man, what are they doing? And they were all laughing. Like, what were you expecting? So then, that's how I got introduced to porn and watched a few magazines. But then eventually you get used to it. As computers, I remember the 486, the Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3, you can Google search this. Those were the white computers, or white cream, all were standard colors. So you'd get these floppy disks where you'd have the images of the females, and you put and you see one girl showing her tits, one girl showing her, her passion fruit, smelly one, or some sex scenes here and there, some photographs. And that would be all the porn that we would be able to watch or view. So obviously, once you see that and you get introduced to the world of masturbation and imagination, whatever, you move along. And then obviously, what you see in the porno is what you want to try with a girl. Because after all, what you see in the porno is the girl is enjoying it. Obviously, you think, oh. But then, guess what? I know this might sound disgusting what I tell you, but there was nobody to guide us on what is hygiene. Like, you have to wash yourself, you have to clean yourself. Seriously. You might think, what rubbish. Isn't this obvious that you're supposed to clean yourself? Well, let me give you a news flash. We didn't know anything. We didn't know any better. So this I found out only after being with females. You have to wash yourself, clean yourself. It smells, whatever. I only realized this after very many years. I think after the age of 21 or 22, as I started dating even married chicks who were not happy with their marriage, or divorced females, they would slowly guide you. Listen, why don't you wash yourself? Why don't you clean yourself? Why don't you trim or this or that? And then slowly I began to realize, okay, if I have to know something about sex, I can ask these females and they'll guide me. So I would ask them, how do you do this? How do you do that? Do you like this or do you like that? Do you like to be touched here? And then slowly books started to come out where you could read them. And then the internet came. I remember ICQ, Yahoo groups, MSN groups, which are all non existent. Do you know MSN Hotmail had a chat? Yahoo had a chat. Yahoo chat. There was an ICQ. And there, Kaza download. You could download porn movies. Oh, I had, I remember 700 CDs. 700 CDs of porn images and porn videos because we wanted to make a collection. You know, you had that 4 CDs, you turn the page, 4 CDs here, 4 CDs here. So that was another phase of my life, collecting all these porno videos. And then when I moved out of home, I could meet any girl I wanted. Any girl could come to my, room. I had a separate room with a bed. The girls could come there. There began my so-called addiction to women from porn. And I'll tell you if I calculate per day how much time I spend chasing females per day, I would say minimum, it would be 4 to 6 hours. Chasing girls, trying to find some girl through chat, registering myself. That time Shadi.com was also the marriage website for Indians. So I would try anything and everything to get a girl to chat with or try to meet her, whether it was a Filipina. And Dubai that time started growing to what it is today, not 100%. But there were many Filipina girls, many Indian girls, many single girls. And then I discovered also there were divorced females or there were married females who are not happy. And just let it sink in what I've told you. 4 to 6 hours a day. Just trying to search, only search for females. And then if I managed to get a female, I was good at talking, by the way, even though I wouldn't say I was very handsome. I was big because I used to take steroids. I was heavy. The girl would come home and next thing you know is you're going out with her for food, you're going out with her for a movie, you're going out with her for sex. You'll book a hotel room. So it was more like the whole day was spent being with her. And obviously, I had to work. I couldn't just have sex only. So my interest and passion in working was limited to the only fixed number of hours. Go to office, put the timestamp, spend time at work and try to finish it as quickly as possible. And before, if 6 o'clock is checkout time, check out and again, girls, computer, video games. That was my life. And if I really honestly tell you, the amount of time, effort, and money I put into females, I think I would be able to purchase at least a house, actual purchase a house or 2 houses with a plot of land. That much time, effort, and money I put in. And if I'd use the same energy into my career, into self-improvement or making my life, I think I would have at least maybe a turnover of 10, 11 million US dollars annually. You must be like, what the hell did you spend so much money? When you are addicted to something, no? It's like smoking or drinking. You do not know how much you're smoking. You do not know how much you're drinking. For me, the most valuable resource was not just the money I spend taking girls out, which would be, like I told you, minimum 8 hours, okay, per day spending with a girl or girls. In fact, my greatest achievement was having sex with 6 different girls at 6 different locations in one day. And these are not girls who sleep around on something. They were like girlfriend, so to speak. And I'll tell you the type of character I was. I truly believed that the more females you had, the more your self-worth, the more people would respect you. Because I used to see these Hollywood movies, no, James Bond with sleeping with this woman who is married to someone, or who's divorced, or who's single, and he has one female here, another female there, and he's trying to be, smooth with words with yet another female. So I thought that was what a man is supposed to do. And I would actually parade the females that I would have wherever I go. Like, I'd get one female for one party, another female for another party, and maybe just to show off to these very same crowds or conferences, I'd come with one girl one time. Next week, I'd come with another girl. So people looked at me as like, this guy is sexually crazy for females. And I didn't mind that. I took it as a compliment. After spending so much time, so much money, so much effort, and being with so many females, one day, one particular day, I realized that I'm not enjoying this sex anymore. Sex is fun. Don't get me wrong. Sex is a lot of fun, and the anticipation, the unpredictability, the romance. But then, after the initial meeting, when you do sex and you try different styles of sex and different things, you go down, I go down, up, left, right, and you try everything that you see in porno stuff. Or you go out and you want to do it in the car, you want to do it in the theater, you want to do it while standing, take her to some corner and do it. Yeah, all that is fun. But then, as you grow older, your priorities change. Your priority is no longer just girls, unless you are still stuck in the bubble. For me, I was like, I want someone who cares about me, who loves me, who spends time with me. I wanted to feel that. I enjoyed that. And I had this Filipina girl who I really spent, I think, 2 years or 3 years or whatever, whom I really enjoyed. But there was too much of drama. That was the only problem. Means when I was with her, I was fooling around with other girls, but I really felt loved by this girl. But only thing, there was too much of drama because she was overly possessive and demanding. And that is where I really thought, I want to settle down. I want to have one female who I love. But like I tell you, I was very distracted. Every time I would get a new female to chat, and that time Facebook became prominent. There were many girls, and given how smooth I was with words and the fact I was to DJ and MC shows, I was always in the spotlight. And females used to always notice me, and they always liked a guy who was smart with words, who was good at talking. And this went on for some time. 1 second, let me put on the AC. A little bit hot. I think this went on until I experienced the biggest failure of my life. If you have followed my video, you'd know the time where I lost everything and was sent off to India wrongly. And that's why when I lost all the money, I lost everything. No career, no money, no friends. Even the girls vanished. And that's where I realized if you don't have money, if you don't have things which make you an independent man, you don't actually think about sex. Sex is the last thing you think about. When there is no money, there is no food. So there, my fascination for girls, many, many girls, kind of died down, you could say, at least 50-60%. And I wanted a steady girlfriend, which is where that Filipina girl came in. And once I had to leave Dubai, I had made up my mind, it's time for me to leave Dubai now. I was wrongly sent off from Dubai, age of 36. Came back within a month, removed all the fake charges, criminal charges that the employer had put. Now the focus was only money. Now the focus was only career. Now the focus was settling down. And I realized I'm reaching 40. I need to have a soulmate, or I need to have at least a girlfriend, even if not marriage. So finally came down to Thailand after having the least number of girls. Once I came here, I could continue my playboy lifestyle. To be honest with you, Now I'm in a new place. Nobody knows me. Third world country. I can get girls easy. I'm earning in US dollars and spending in Thai baht. But what I realized is I'm alone. I don't have mother, father, brother, sister, no friends, nobody. I don't know anyone here. I have to earn money. I have to streamline the process. I have to work on my brand. I have to get up on time. I have to plan things out. I have to sleep on time. I'm not going to get a girl who's rich who'll take care of me. There was no place to network, no Indians. I was all alone. So I had to sort myself out. And when you're under stress and pressure, the last thing you think about is being a playboy. Yes, I did have a couple of girls who bring over, sleep, have sex. But here the problem is these girls were very feisty. They were, if they get possessive about you, they will literally set your house on fire, or they'll break your scooter, or they'll, if they are with the wrong company, they might bring their gangs or their ex-boyfriend to beat you up. And so I was like, I'm not prepared for all this bullshit. And yes, the biggest problem was in Dubai, they would test you at least once a year for the visa. So you had to go through a medical. So any STD, you'd be deported. In Thailand, there's no such thing as they'll check you for STD if you are a local Thai person. And if you're a foreigner and you're a tourist and you have STD, nobody knows. So cross-pollination used to go on a lot here. And I was like, do I really want to get an STD? Because if you do, when you especially run a business and they take your test, and if you have an STD, they'll deport you from this country. I was like, not prepared. There's too many drawbacks, too many risks of me wanting to be a playboy. And yes, I wanted someone who would take care of me if I was sick. At least someone who would be there for me. And as you know, I was 125 kilo. I was fat. I was very unhealthy. I was borderline diabetic, blood pressure, sugar, cholesterol, heart issues. And I was like, I need to sort out my life, man. Otherwise, I'm going to end up nowhere. So, along with the stress of work, stress of health, and deciding I need to change my life, I underwent my bariatric surgery, as you know that. And that affected my complete sexual libido, everything. It just changed my whole physical structure. From being a super fat, huge guy, I became a super, not thin guy, but obviously I had to do work to reduce myself more. I started focusing more on health, was careful what I ate. Even though I did get my sexual libido back, but because I was focused more on working and building my brand, you can only do one thing at a time. You can't do sex. And yes, there was a phase where online I was slightly distracted as to still chat with naughty girls and horny girls and girls who knew me from Dubai. But I once a while, nice naughty sex conversation. Hey, what are you wearing? What are you doing? You want to do this? Yeah, do you miss that? That went on for some time until I thankfully got bored of it. Even after marriage, I used to chat with a couple of girls, but not as intensely as before. Slowly, I think once I got my daughter, that also died off. So today, where am I? After escaping near to death, I'm not exaggerating, actual death experiences where I was hospitalized for eating prawn shell and crabs. I was not able to breathe. And I thought I would actually die. I was hospitalized and they kept me under observation. When it happened the second time, it was worse. The doctor asked my wife, are you his wife? She said yes, saying because they might think you try to kill him just to take all his money. So it was that serious. And after all the health ups and downs that I went through, losing a lot of blood because I had hemorrhoids, and today I'm glad, I'm telling you honestly, I'm glad I'm not addicted to sex. Um, do I think of it? It's a passing thought. Do I still have temptations? Plenty. It is as much as it was there before. I guess because of the resurgence of my presence online. There have been girls, which I've told you before, there have girls actually who came down um, with their friends because they wanted to try something kinky. And today's day and age, you get girls who openly tell you, do you want to fuck? Do you want to have sex? Straight away, on your face. They don't care you're married, you're single, they don't care anything. So, lucky for me, I've said no. Porn, I don't know if you'll believe me, but actually don't think of it anymore. I know maybe you're thinking to yourself, is it because of the operation? Can be. Is it because of my age? Yes, can be. Is it because of declining testosterone? Yes, can be. But I'm telling you very honestly, from heart to heart, I am so glad. I am so glad that I'm not thinking of sex. I'm not addicted to sex. I just don't want it, man, because it's not going to add any value to me. It's just like smoking or drinking or pleasure, but it's not going to help you in any way. It'll only distract you. So all that energy, effort, creativity now, I focus only on my brand, on my clients, on my work. And whenever there is a female or temptation for sex, there are girls who literally show me their nice little cleavage and talk to me and try to entice me. It doesn't work. Sincerely, it doesn't. I just don't feel anything. A girl can be absolutely naked, totally naked. And though I have memories and though I have experiences of what crazy, passionate sex is, I just don't want it. Why? Because I think of all the drawbacks now. STD, this girl can try to ruin my name, my brand, blackmail me. Maybe she's a nymphomaniac or maybe she's a sexual addict. And then if she enjoys my company, maybe she will keep coming and I can't get rid of her. Or maybe she can be a manipulator. Or maybe, given the fact that I'm married, she can blackmail me, come down here. She can actually come down with her friends and say, and break the windows and say, this guy had sex with me, I have proof. And then it'll destroy my marriage, it'll destroy my peace of mind. My daughter might end up getting hurt. They can even go to the police and say, oh, he tried to sexually rape, molest. So, not interested in all this. Yes, there are people who do it. I just don't want to do it. So, what I want to leave you with is I've been through the journey that you guys are currently on. From looking at porn to dying for women. Like, I've had more than 300, 400 females. A number which I used to be very proud of. Today, I just think about it. Okay, had sex with so many. Lucky I didn't get STD. So, been there, done that. But if I were to look back, the biggest regret I have, is the time I spend now, I can never get it back. And if I had spent the same time on my brand, on my business, on learning, on something else, maybe I would be 10 times more rich, more successful, more accomplished than what I'm today. But like they say, it's never too late. Maybe this is the best for myself. So yeah, this is what I want to share with you. And if in case you are addicted to sex or porn or whatever, I would suggest, instead of just searching online and trying to find a solution online, see if you can ask for professional help. Okay? Because there is nothing in the world that if you put addiction that you can't stay without is healthy. Whether it's food, whether it's exercise, anything. Anything in excess where you can't control and it controls you is not healthy. So I wanted to share this with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have any questions, But please don't please don't ask me, oh, masturbation, I like to do this, I like to do that, or what do you recommend? Or I'm not a sexologist to tell you how many fingers and where you should put what, and that you should refer somewhere else or someone else. All right. This is what I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, ugly. Love to hear from you. You guys take care.